I used to think I was a good enough wife. My family, from the outside looking in, was probably the ideal model. A gentle husband, a peaceful home. But there were gaps that no one could see. There were nights when I lay awake, lying, next to my husband. But my heart was still cold and empty. I couldn't remember the last time he held me. No more longing eyes, no more touches that made my heart flutter. Then he appeared. Liam, the man who shouldn't have entered my life. But he was the one who brought me back to life. I didn't intend to betray. I just wanted to feel, once again, that I was still a woman. His hands didn't stop at my waist. They slowly slid up, lifting the thin fabric of my shirt, revealing the soft curve of my bare breasts. His eyes darkened as he saw my nipples, pink and hard, sensitive from the cold air, and from the warmth rising inside me. "Oh my God, aren't you wearing anything underneath?" he whispered hoarsely, his voice trembling slightly. I could feel the hunger in his breath, a lick of fire down my spine. He leaned down. His lips brushed the curve of my breast, then closed. I gasped. A sharp, soft sound escaped my throat. His tongue slowly circled my nipple, teasing, sucking, until it turned a darker red, swollen, wet, tingling. I gripped the edge of the counter behind me, my knuckles white, my breath coming in gasps, my legs shaking unsteadily, my body arched against his. I could feel the wetness building between my thighs, dripping, warm, unmistakably sinful. He moved his hand lower, sliding between my legs, his fingers pressing lightly against my wet center through the thin fabric. "You're so wet," he moaned softly, as if he couldn't believe it. I moaned softly, soft, husky, needy. Every movement, every lick, every suck, every caress of his made me melt. Every wet sound between our bodies echoed louder in the silence of the night. It was maddening, the fear of being caught, the excitement of it, my immediate need. His fingers slid inside me, warm, slow, deep, deep and curved just right, touching every pulse of need inside me. My body trembled. I gasped. I could barely keep my voice together. "Liam," whispered, pleading, pain eased, running through me. He pressed his lips to my neck, my collarbone, bathing my trembling skin, while his fingers continued to move inside me, faster, wetter, deeper. And when I finally reached the shore, when I broke in his arms, trembling a little, lost, I played him to muffle my noise, teeth grinding into his flesh as my whole body pulsed around him. And in that moment, nothing else mattered, not a name of mine. I have no accusations. Rest assured that I am not the man sleeping 10 feet away, just his breathing, my moans, and the wet, sinful sounds of us burning into each other. But in the next room, my husband was still sleeping. Every moan I had to bite my lip to hold back. Every wet sound between our bodies echoed clearly in the suffocating silence of the night. I knew I was wrong, but why? My heart was still. Beating so violently? Why did I melt into his arms? While my husband was lying less than 10 steps away, was it desire? Was it loneliness? Or love that had never been named? Guilt pierced me like a thin blade. But desire still surged. I wanted to stop, but I couldn't. I was drunk, on my own instincts. His fingers slid inside me, perfectly curved, touching every pulse of need inside me. My body jerked slightly, my eyes closed, my lips biting his shoulder to keep from screaming. I just knew. I had lost myself. My teeth were imprinted on his skin, like a mark of guilt that I could never erase. But in that moment, nothing mattered anymore. Not my name. Not the man sleeping in the room. not the line between right and wrong. There was only his breathing, my moans, and the wet, rushing sound of our bodies melting into each other, a flood of instinct and guilt. I don't know what tomorrow will bring. I don't know how many sins, looks, endings I will endure. But tonight, I lived truly, just once, for myself. What are your feelings after hearing this story? Leave a comment below. I want to hear from your heart. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Midnight Musings Stories to listen to more emotional, sensual, and heart-touching stories. See you another night.